Hi, it's Kim Darwaza with Remax Executives here, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. And today I'm going to talk about new construction and a market update. So I've been working with a lot of clients recently with new construction properties. As you guys are probably aware, we have very low resale inventory in Northern Virginia right now. So a lot of people are turning to new construction, plus people who want everything updated and new. They tend to go for the new construction. So we're kind of back to where we were a while ago with new construction. There's still not a lot of new construction inventory either. So what I'm finding is there are waiting lists again. So I took clients around to show them some condos in the upper $300,000 to $500,000 range, new construction. And so basically you get on a priority list, and then once your name comes up, then you pay a deposit if you want to move forward. And the delivery dates are not until December, January. So I think we all know, for those of us who have experience, December, January really means January, February of 2019. So we're looking at a year out. And just to kind of give you some more perspective on that, I have clients who are currently in a new construction, building a new construction house. We are scheduled to close at the end of this month, so about 2 or 3 more weeks. I remember being on spring break and having a conference call, spring break of last year, having a conference call with the builder to discuss the purchase and write the contract. So that was, spring break was late last year, so April, and we are still in this process. Now that house is in Willowsford, and they decided to go with an elevation that they had not built yet in Willowsford. It was one in Nashville, Tennessee. It's Drees Home. I love Drees Homes. They're more of like a custom builder. Before it was kind of like the whole Winchester, your house, your way, and then Camberley was more of the upscale version of that company. And Drees also does the same thing. They allow you to make a lot of different modifications to the home. So when you start doing that, obviously it takes longer. But the main holdup was that we had to get the elevation approved by Willowsford, which took a few months because they have a very green policy there. So their management has to look through it. So we finally got through that. And of course, there's always weather delays. The delivery was supposed to be December of 2000 and last year, but we are going to close in February. So it does take a long time. Another thing with new construction I like to tell people is they'll see the base price of like $850,000, and so I'm always like, well, you can just add for that size house, because this was a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot house. You can just go ahead and add about $100,000 to that for structural and design center upgrades. And everyone looks at me when I tell them that like I'm smoking crack. They're like, oh, I can't believe it, $100,000. And I'm like, well, they started with that $850. I told them that they're almost at $1.2 million. So I was like, it was funny because I went back to them after they did their final modification. I was like, see, I told you. And they're like, you were seriously right about that. So obviously that's a very large home, but still, even with smaller homes, it's not the base price. I will say this one new community that I have clients who just got on the list for, and we're going to go in and hopefully get something for delivery, but it's not going to be till December, which is crazy. Those will be less. And I will say the Toll Brothers, which is a Toll Brothers community, it's out in Loudon Valley, they already have the packages selected with the tiles and the cabinets and stuff. They have sort of like 6 different groupings you can pick from. And normally when I was going through the house, I'm like, well, you won't, they always do the fancy stuff in the model. I'm like, well, it doesn't come with this. It doesn't. Well, in this situation, like the tiles in the bathroom, which are sort of like the longer, skinnier ones made to look like hardwood, in their package, those come with the house, which was really nice because it's just like less they have to add and so on and so forth. So, yeah, so that's sort of the state of affairs. I also showed a 55 plus community new construction, which I'm starting to chuckle at this point with 55 plus, seeing that I have a bunch of friends that are now turning 50, and I'm thinking they are not 5 years from living in an active adult community. I think they need to make these things like, I don't know, over 65 now or 70, because that's who mainly appears to be living there. But I just think it's kind of funny. They need to sort of revamp that whole thing, because today's 55 obviously is way different than when my grandmother was 55. So I did show a lot of those communities. So Toll Brothers, their 55 communities are called Regency, and they have this new one in Ashburn. The older ones are at Dominion Valley Country Club in Belmont. They have one out there. So they're sort of nice. These condos are beautiful open floor plans. I was really impressed by it. The way they show the actual floor plans, they use the space very wisely, which is also nice. And again, these condos go up from like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. We're looking at high threes to almost like 500. So they're definitely not cheap. If you want a cheaper active adult, then you need to go down probably closer to like Dumfries. And I know there's a bunch of them down by Fredericksburg and Stafford area. So I would... yeah, so those are what I've been seeing for new construction. Discovery Center, which is over in Herndon off of Centerville Road. That's more of you feel like you're more like city living, because it's in taller buildings. They're closer together, where the ones out in Ashburn and Loudoun, it's more pastoral views and trees. So my clients didn't like that as much. They're pretty much in grand closeout at this point. I can't believe how fast it's up, but that's mixed. There's also apartments for rent over there. The floor plans were very, very nice over there at Discovery Center in Herndon, and those were K. Hovanian homes that we saw. Very nice floor plans, but they're in grand closeout. So if you want something, I think they only have 1 or 2 left at that location. There's another one off of Herndon Parkway too, which the model right now is at One Loudoun, and they're going to be building that. That one is a Stanley Martin home, so they're building those. And they're also building this really, really neat area in Reston off of Sunrise Valley Drive, and it's going to have a whole bunch of shops and restaurants. It's almost like a mini town center. So that's another new construction project too, if you're looking for that. So I just wanted to give an update on that. We're definitely, if you're interested, you have to think like a year out. So if you're like, I want to move in a year, well, you got to start now. There's just so much limited inventory everywhere around here. So you really have to plan. So, and a lot of times you can do a lot hold for like $5,000, which I know is a lot of money, but if you're still thinking about it, you can sort of get in the game or get on the list. So if you have any questions, you can send me a text at 703-856-2254 or an email at kim@kimdarwaza.com. And I've started posting on my Facebook stories and my Instagram stories. I'll do walkthroughs when I'm showing properties or new construction, so you can kind of see what they look like. I've been on multiple inspections this week, so I've talked about a lot of the pitfalls I found. So if you're interested in that kind of information, then follow me on Instagram at kimdarwaza, or if you're watching this, you're probably already friends with me on Facebook. So yeah, just any questions, I'd love to hear them, and thanks for watching.